Love the creatures for the sake of God and not for themselves. You will never become angry or impatient if you love them for the sake of God. Humanity is not perfect. There are imperfections in every human being, and you will always become unhappy if you look toward the people themselves. But if you look toward God, you will love them and be kind to them, for the world of God is the world of perfection and complete mercy. Therefore, do not look at the shortcomings of anybody, see with the sight of forgiveness. The imperfect eye beholds imperfections. The eye that covers faults looks toward the Creator of souls. He created them, trains and provides for them, endows them with capacity and life, sight and hearing, therefore, they are the signs of His grandeur. You must love and be kind to everybody, care for the poor, protect the weak, heal the sick, teach and educate the ignorant. My heart is in a constant state of thanksgiving. Religion should unite all hearts and cause wars and disputes to vanish from the face of the earth. It should give birth to spirituality, and bring light and life to every soul. If religion becomes a cause of dislike, hatred, and division, it would be better to be without it. Any religion which is not a cause of love and unity is no religion. Love gives life to the lifeless. Love lights a flame in the heart that is cold. Love brings hope to the hopeless and gladdens the hearts of the sorrowful. In the world of existence there is indeed no greater power than the power of love. Do not be content with showing friendship in words alone, let your heart burn with loving kindness for all who may cross your path. The intellect is good, but until it has become the servant of the heart, it is of little avail. One must see in every human being only that which is worthy of praise. When this is done, one can be a friend to the whole human race. If, however, we look at people from the standpoint of their faults, then being a friend to them is a formidable task. Thus is it incumbent upon us, when we direct our gaze toward other people, to see where they excel, not where they fail. Man is in reality a spiritual being, and only when he lives in the Spirit is he truly happy. Service to humanity is service to God. Let the love and light of the kingdom radiate through you until all who look upon you shall be illumined by its reflection. Be as stars, brilliant and sparkling in the loftiness of their heavenly station. Truthfulness is the foundation of all the virtues of mankind. When a man turns his face to God, he finds sunshine everywhere. Love yet all religions and all races with a love that is true and sincere, and show that love through deeds. To oppose knowledge is ignorant, and he who detests knowledge and science is not a man, but rather an animal without intelligence. For knowledge is light, life, felicity, perfection, beauty, and the means of approaching the threshold of unity. It is the honor and glory of the world of humanity, and the greatest bounty of God. Knowledge is identical with guidance, and ignorance is real error. An humble man without learning, but filled with the Holy Spirit. Without that inspiration, he who is educated by the Divine Spirit can, in his time, lead others to receive the same Spirit. The home of religion is the heart. It is your duty to be exceedingly kind to every human being, until ye change the world of man into the world of God. By nothing under no conditions, be ye perturbed. Man is under all conditions immersed in a sea of God's blessings. Therefore, be thou not hopeless under any circumstances, but rather be firm in thy hope. Where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, and there is always time. We ask God to endow human souls with justice so that they may be fair and may strive to provide for the comfort of all, that each member of humanity may pass his life in the utmost comfort and welfare. Then this material world will become the very paradise of the kingdom. This elemental earth will be in a heavenly state, and all the servants of God will live in the utmost joy, happiness and gladness. We must all strive and concentrate all our thoughts in order that such happiness may accrue to the world of humanity. 210 Experiences do not come to us by chance, they are sent to us by divine mercy for our own perfection. Knowledge is the cause of human progress. The primary, the most urgent requirement is the promotion of education. It is inconceivable that any nation should achieve prosperity and success unless this paramount, this fundamental concern is carried forward. The principal reason for the decline and fall of peoples is ignorance. Today the mass of the people are uninformed even as to ordinary affairs, how much less do they grasp the core of the important problems and complex needs of the time. People think religion is confined in an edifice, to be worshipped at an altar. In reality it is an attitude toward divinity which is reflected through life. 205 Endure every difficulty and hardship with a dilated heart, a tract spirit, and eloquent tongue, in remembrance of the merciful. Men who suffer not, attain no perfection. The plant most pruned by the gardeners is that one which, when the summer comes, will have the most beautiful blossoms and the most abundant fruit. The laborer cuts up the earth with his plow, and from that earth comes the rich and plentiful harvest. The more a man is chastened, the greater is the harvest of spiritual virtues shown forth by him. Baha Ullah Bio Zainal, November 12, 1817 to May 29, 1892, was a Persian religious leader, and the founder of the Baha'i faith, which advocates universal peace and unity among all races, nations, and religions. Born into Persian nobility, at the age of 27 he accepted the religious claims of the Bab and became an important promoter of the new faith, for which he was tortured and imprisoned in Tehran. During confinement in 1853-4, he claimed that a vision brought him divine inspiration. He was banished from Persia and took up residence in Iraq. Years later, while facing another forced exile from Ottoman authorities, he announced his own religious claims in 1863 to the followers of the Bab, followed by letters to world leaders beginning in 1867 to in 1868, on orders from Sultan Abdulaziz, Baha Ullah, and about 80 of his family and followers were rounded up from their homes in Edirne and put under heavy confinement in the prison city of Akka III. By 1877 the sentence was no longer being enforced, and he lived his final years in a nearby home, while technically a prisoner of the city. Baha Ullah's notable writings include The Hidden Words, Kurdistan, 1858, The Book of Certitude, Baghdad, 1862, and the Kitab-i-Aqdas, Akka, 1873, which all vary in themes, for his teachings revolve around the unity of God, of religion, and of mankind. God is seen to have sent a series of divine messengers that are unified in purpose, and draw humanity toward greater spiritual, moral, and intellectual truths. 5. Baha Ullah's claim to be the most recent in this series is the basis for the faith's widespread recognition as the only independent world religion to emerge in the modern age, not being a sect of any other faith. 6. Besides spiritual growth, his teachings also promote the equality of men and women, marriage and family life, an end to racial and national prejudice, and some prescriptions on how to live a Baha'i life and organize the Baha'i community. His burial place near Akka is a destination of pilgrimage for his followers, as well as the direction they face for daily obligatory prayers. The Baha'i World Center sits in nearby Haifa. His will appointed his eldest son, Abdu al-Baha, as an authorized interpreter of his writings and to succeed him in directing the affairs of the Baha'i faith. By the 1950s there were about 200,000 Baha'is in the world, mostly in Iran. 7. But starting in the 1960s the religion expanded around the world, and by the 21st century there were reliably over 5 million registered Baha'is in the world. 8. Baha Ullah's teachings affirm the fundamental unity of God, of religion, and of humankind. Similar to other monotheistic religions, God is considered the ultimate and absolute source of all created things. One true religion, according to Baha Ullah, is renewed periodically by manifestations of God, special figures who reflect the divine attributes and act as the sole intermediaries between God and humanity throughout history. Baha'is recognize Zoroaster, Krishna, Buddha, Moses, Christ, Muhammad, and the Bab, among others, as some of these figures. Baha Ullah taught that God's revelation to humankind shall never end, and that the process of religious renewal would endure for all of human existence. Baha'is view Baha Ullah as the most recent of these manifestations of God, and his explicitly stated mission emphasizes the spiritual unification of the entire planet through the eradication of racism, excessive nationalism, and prejudice. Baha'u'llah's teachings include the need for a world tribunal to adjudicate disputes between nations, a uniform system of weights and measures, and an auxiliary language to be used by all peoples. Baha'u'llah also taught that the appearance of the next manifestation of God shall not take place for at least 1,000 years, at least 2852 CE, and that anyone making a claim to a revelation direct from God before the expiration of that period would be a lying impostor. 61-62-63. Thank you and be well. Thank you and be well.